Hi, this is Kimberly Harrison at Singing for Your Soul, and welcome to the third of our videos in the breath series. So let's talk about why breathing is so complex. I have listed 6 reasons that I can think of, and maybe there are more, about why breathing is so complex. So let's go through them. First of all, number 1, there are many different muscles involved in breathing. I talked in the first video about how the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles assist the organs in the breath process. But there aren't just, the intercostal muscles are pretty complex muscles, and the entire body is being affected by the breath process. So when the diaphragm descends, things have to shift around in the lower part of your torso, not just in the front, but in the back as well. And then the torso expands, it's a pretty complex process. The entire body is being affected by it, clear down to your little toes, because the blood is taking the oxygen all the way through the body. Right, so that's number 1. There are many different muscles and processes and organs involved in the breathing process. Number 2, there are many possibilities for where you're going to direct the breath flow. This is often something that people have never thought about, which is just because we don't teach it in our society, body awareness. But you have large lungs. They come down pretty far. They're protected by the rib cage, and they come up pretty high in the body. And they're also on the sides and in the back, which is something that is often not even realized. So many people breathe what's called shallow breathing, where you're breathing into your upper lobes of your lungs, which looks kind of like that. You can also breathe shallowly into your upper back, which is what you do when you do, for instance, a gasp, right? You saw my shoulders come up. That's a gasp breath, and that's the upper lobes of the lungs. You can direct the airflow into the side parts of the body. Okay, you see that? I hope you can see that. I'm expanding on the sides. You can direct the air into the lower front lobes of the lungs, right? Which is what people say when they say, make your tummy fat. You're breathing down low here. You can breathe into the middle and lower parts of the back. I hope you can see that. Okay? So you have options about where you're going to be breathing, and that helps complexify the breathing process. Number 3, different purposes or tasks for breathing. You will be breathing differently if you're running a marathon versus if you're sprinting or playing soccer or doing yoga or sitting on the couch or driving your car or standing or talking with friends versus singing karaoke, right? I could go on and on, but different purposes or different tasks for breathing are going to change the way that we breathe. Number 4, we have different positions that we breathe in, right? So if I'm sitting on the couch, I will probably breathe slightly differently than if I'm sitting at the piano, or if I'm sitting in my car versus my computer chair. You're going to breathe differently when you're standing versus when your head's hanging over or you're down in a yoga pose. So different positions will affect the breathing. And then number 5, different body types. Different shapes. I don't really think I need to expand on that. We have lots of different body types. And then number 6, there are different ways of explaining what we are feeling or experiencing. Somebody might be feeling something very similar to what another person is feeling, but they're going to have different words to describe that experience than the other person. I think this kind of goes into that realm of, are you really seeing the same color that I'm seeing, and how could we ever know? If you have always grown up thinking that the sky is blue, but your blue is my red, then how do we ever know, right? If we're all seeing things the same. So there are different ways of explaining what we are experiencing, and that can lead to all sorts of either confusion or enlightenment, depending upon how long you want to kind of communicate with each other. But anyway, that is pretty much in a nutshell the things that I can think of that contribute to different perception about the breathing process and how it ends up being a rather complex process. So if you like this info and you're interested in more about breathing and singing and all things in between, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, head over to the website if you're interested in being on the email list, and wish you well. Peace out.